Definitely, and I agree. It's entrepreneurship is chaos. It is continuous chaos in in so many aspects of your life, and you have to willingly step into that chaos. You have to step away from stability, maybe. You have to step away from support and comfort, and then say, "I'm going to enter a chaotic world where I don't even know what the next step." Like it's 12 o'clock on a Monday. I don't know what I need to do from 12 to 1 to keep my business going, but I have to figure it out. And yeah, it is not for everybody.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing there is that everyone just needs to do what's best for them. If you have that entrepreneur spirit and desire, do that. If you want to be a lawyer, be a lawyer. But what I hate to see is that, some people would be like, "Oh, my parents said I need to go to college, so I'm going to take on all of this debt just because my parents want me to do this, and I'll be miserable in the career that they're suggesting for me, but I'm going to do it for them." So, I just I have a real soft spot for people who have those kind of parents, and the message to them is that, man, just deal with that, their quote unquote disappointment, and pursue what you love because it's your life to live.
Yeah, and it's important to know thyself, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I don't want to go to college and study this. It's like, well, you don't. Okay, so what are the actual reasons why you don't want to do that? And if it comes out to being like, I just want to disobey my parents because I like being a rebellious person, then get your
Exactly.
butt to college.
Exactly.
And then when you talk about entrepreneurship, it's being honest with yourself and going, okay, is it okay that if I fail, I'm unable to pay my bills? And I had a gentleman that I worked with, Harvard graduate, very, very smart man, worked for me here for a project, and he wanted to get involved in a company that I was starting. And he wanted to open up a branch of this company. Again, it's a company I have not started yet, but I'm going to start it. And he wanted to have the branch in New York City because I planned on moving. So we had a conversation. I said, okay, look, let's do this. Let's go out for dinner, just you and me. And I just want to have dinner with you. But we're going to talk real about before you start. So I sat down, we're having dinner, and I looked at him. I said, how long will it take for your wife to divorce you if you go broke? He just looked at me. Huh? I said, I'm just wondering. Think about it. How long will it take for your wife to divorce you if you go broke? Because he wasn't in a fight. He's not like he's investing. He's going to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he looks at me and goes, well, I don't know, a month or two? Or, he's like,
wow.
And I'm like, you have to understand, he's not an entrepreneur type of person. Again, he's a graduate from Harvard. He had a lot of things going. And he wasn't one of those rich people that went to Harvard, right? He was one of those that got in on the outskirts, right?
Yeah.
He's one of the pity cases, right? It's like, oh, yeah, we'll take him in. He's smart, and poor guy didn't have anything good going for him.
He wasn't part of the gentleman's club.
That's right. He doesn't go to the tea parties where everybody hands everybody money. Yeah. Oh yeah, I've got this contract here. Hey, how about you take this contract? He wasn't part of that club. And best I know, he's still not part of that club. But he's a great guy. I love him to death. But I had to present him with these real questions. I'm like, you do understand that you will. And he talked about, well, can I do this while doing this other thing at the same time? And I said, well, how badly do you want to fail?
Yeah.
Because every time you distract yourself with this other thing, you're increasing your probability of failing with this thing, which means you're going to get to the point where you're bankrupt, and 2 months later your wife is going to divorce you. So is this something that you have the discipline and capability to actually do? And if they can pass the litmus test, because that's like the foundation, right? If you cannot be okay with going broke, if you are not okay with diverting all of your attention to this one thing, if you're an investor, that's different. But if you're the entrepreneur, you're coming in at ground level, you and like 2 other buddies are starting something up, and you've put your little life savings into it, 50,000, 100, 200,000, whatever it is, and you're starting it up. If you are not okay with shifting your entire focus to it, if you're not okay of giving up everything else for this, and if you're not okay of doing all of that and still going broke, then you need to not do it. Because all of those things are very real. Like 90% of the time happens real.
Yeah. Exactly.
if you're not okay with that, you're in that 90%.
Exactly.